And hello again. We're back. Apparently we went dead for a moment there, so apologies for that. Technical difficulties, as come to expect on doing live television. So, once again, just reintroduce ourselves. I'm Nick Draper, with Matt Howard to my left, Rob Boyce and George Jones to my right. And we were just discussing Luke McCormick having spent his birthday in St George's Park in Burton the night before our draw up there at the... What do I call their stadium? Because I don't like really calling it what it's called. Because it's named after... Yeah, I don't like doing that.
It's named after a tyre manufacturer.
It is, I know. I'm a bit tired of doing that.
Can we kill the stream again? But in all seriousness, I don't know what else you'd call it, apart from the Don Amott King of Caravan
We're
Stadium.
going to call it the Burton Stadium. Yes. But anyway, so we had the messages that were sent to him on social media as well from a bit of a wind-up.
Yes, some of the players got other players and senior management team to record birthday messages to a fan called Luke.
Right.
Unaware, of course, it was Luke McCormack, so when they were played them at their team dinner on Friday night, there were a couple of people with awkward faces.
Very nice. Love a bit of team spirit. And the spirit of the squad is good.
I suppose as much as you don't want to spend your birthday necessarily working, as a footballer, if you get to spend your birthday at St George's Park, I suppose that's pretty much
that's winning
a
the
great
lottery.
Birthday.
It's winning the lottery. It's footballers' birthdays
Yeah.
go. St George's Park is right up there. It's an incredible facility.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you ever been up there?
Yes.
You have been up there?
A couple of times.
Yeah. I'm kind of jealous. I want to go and have a look around.
Oh, it's well worth it.
The other big news then this afternoon, Lee Brown makes his debut for us. We've got some facts about Lee for you. We've got a thing that's popped up to me on the screen as I look. First ever league start was actually against us in our first game back in the Football League in 2011 for Bristol Rovers. I was also interested to note he actually played against us at Kings Meadow for Hayes and Yedding back in the conference days as well. So he's well versed. He's got experience of playing against us. He's now playing for us. Rob, I immediately have an issue with Lee playing for us, and that is the fact that he's been given squad number 55. This isn't American football. Sorry, as I struggle there. It's the rage that I've got. I'm literally spitting with fury about the fact we've got to play with. Do we actually know why we've gone so high with that?
I think you've got two issues today, Nick. Number one is he's number 55, but number two is I'm wearing the third away kit to a home game, so I thought that might, trouble you today as well.
I was trying not to mention it.
But yeah, Lee Brown, I think mentioned in his interview, there's not many numbers left available. We've given them all to young squad members, I'm not sure how we've ended up with 55 as our next available number.
No.
I mean, obviously, there's some numbers players that want, for example, 13, for example. So. I don't know how he's come to 55, or if that was literally the next number. We know the number 9 shirt is available with Wally departing, but I don't think he was ever going to get that one, was he?
It would have been unlikely. Would have had like one of those World Cup scenarios where they just numbered the players alphabetically, so you've got like a number 9 in goal and a number 1 up top. But no, Lee Brown has joined us from Portsmouth. Much needed experience, as we've talked about, in a left back position. Matt, we talk about experience, and that's what everyone's going to say, but actually as well, he's got a lot of quality, not only defensively, but he gets up and down, doesn't he?
Yeah, his pass success rate's good. He can get up and down the pitch, and he can score a goal, which is great, especially for a fullback. But I think for us, his experience is key. I think having Will, and Ben, and him now, I think for Osu as well, the experience he'll gain from playing alongside those three. I just think he is like for me a marquee signing. I hope it transpires that way, because I like everything I've seen of him so far. Everything screams that he's gonna be great. So I'm very, very pleased to see him on the pitch today.
Just following on for that, he kind of reminds me of Barry Fuller-esque type signing. He's a real leader. He's a fullback, just the opposite side. So that's what I'm kind of expecting from him. You mentioned he's got a goal in him. I remember last season he scored both goals against us behind closed doors here at Plough Lane. I think that quite a lot of fans will remember that one as well, unfortunately. So, if he can score 2 goals on the correct side today, we'd be more than happy.
Other element about Lee George's height, 6 foot, goes alongside Will and Ben, and our success from set pieces is sort of, I don't want to say dwindled, seems a bit harsh, but it's the only word that's coming to mind at the moment. We're not as threatening as we were at the start of the season. Is that something else he can potentially offer us?
Well, it is something he offers, but let's not forget he's coming to the side for Nesta, and Nesta's not short. Nesta's 6 foot.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So it's not a.
Doesn't look it. I've never looked at Nesta as being at all.
But so it's not like we've suddenly got height on the left side.
No.
But what it is physical strength. It's that man strength that Nesta hasn't grown into yet. Nesta will have it in a couple of years. He will get that. But now Lee Brown's obviously already got it. And that's the threat at set pieces. It's just the physicality to barge people through. And that's, we've all seen the clips on YouTube of him doing stuff like that. And him liking a bit more of the, the gamesmanship style.
Yeah.
That's what he brings, because we haven't had a proper leader at the back like that since Barry left.
Talk about Nesta. Did I see his name on the bench?
I'll check.
Can we check that one? We should check the bench because we haven't mentioned it yet. But looking through, I saw Shea Alexander and Dan Shoka, but I don't see Nesta. So we'll maybe ask some questions after the game about that one, where he'd gone to today. But no, very excited by Brown. Let's move on to what the situation is then today beforehand. I'm going to go through the slides in front of me. Today in League One, let's look what else is going on today before we get on to Shrewsbury, our opponents today. You can see the bottom, from 17th to 22nd on the screen there. We're just a point above the drop zone at the moment. We do have that game in hand, which I'm going to assume is Cheltenham on this coming Tuesday.
But we've still got a game in hand over Cheltenham, so we'll have a game in hand over them. Even after we've played our game in hand over everyone else.
Right, I see. Okay, so we're still, obviously, clearly, yes, because we are playing Cheltenham. We are going to...
Play musical chairs.
We are still going to have those extra potential 3 points over them. But Shrewsbury, as you can see, in 17th, we're just 3 points behind them, and a win by 2 goals today will actually take us above them. So that is a huge incentive for us. You look elsewhere in the division, and our sort of rivals have got really tough games. Morecambe travel to Accrington Stanley, which is never an easy place to go, although we kind of made it look like easy ourselves earlier in the season. Cheltenham host Wigan. You'd expect Wigan to win that. Crewe hosting Rotherham. Can't see them getting much there. But we might come on to Crewe, Gillingham and Doncaster in a moment. Doncaster hosting Plymouth, which is a bit of a question mark at the moment, but still near the top of the table.
Obviously, Doncaster with their new set-piece coach, which was announced this morning.
It was. Glyn Hodges has gone to join Doncaster, so good luck there, Glyn, and wish you well there. And then also down around us, I suppose you can look at Fleetwood hosting Cambridge is a big game potentially, because Fleetwood would fancy 3 points there. I look at Gillingham. Gillingham are hosting Oxford. You'd fancy Oxford. Gillingham and Doncaster. Rob, do we think they've gone? Do you think
if they don't start picking up points soon, I think once you get cut adrift, it's very, very hard. Obviously, we had a great escape, but they happen very few and far between. Looking at the league fixtures for today, I do expect a lot of the top teams to beat the bottom teams. But what I love about League One, League Two football is on their day, anyone can beat anyone. So I do feel like they are beginning to get cut adrift, and hopefully we can start picking up points and start moving away from that bottom four and not get dragged too far into that.
Matt, one of the things I wanted to speak to Alex about was the fact that he was with Tranmere the season that was curtailed. In the league was finished off early because of COVID. But in that situation, Tranmere were actually below us in the table, but they seem to be picking up momentum and they were trying to get themselves out of trouble. Well, we seem to be sort of falling into it. Is there a danger that we could be a team that's getting dragged down, as opposed to when we stayed up under Roy Downs a few years ago, where actually we made that late run and we had the momentum that carried us up?
Yeah, well, I think we still have a game in hand, and I don't think we're in that position yet. The performances, the results haven't come, but the performances are building, and it's kind of the same thing we started with when we had pre-season, and maybe everyone thought, oh, it's going to be a great season. The results weren't going our way and things like that, and we just started to progress. And we seem to be on that thing again. I suppose it's building up form, if you will, because we were on form and then we had the enforced break and our form just dipped. And I think we've just had to build that again. I still think we'll be okay. We can only, like Woody said, concentrate on the next game, concentrate on that 3 points, and just carry on in that same mentality.
George, were you alive to remember Sheffield Wednesday versus Ipswich being a Premier League fixture?
Probably not, no.
That's what's going on today. That's a huge game, isn't it? How are you getting Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich in League One? Massive game. It doesn't affect us at this moment in time. I was just musing. What does affect us is Shrewsbury Town. And let's have a look at how we are fared, or how we have fared against Shrewsbury recent times. And the short answer is really quite badly, and I almost swore as well. I had to catch myself there. So, 12 meetings since 2011, and the first season we played them, in our first season back in the Football League, we got a really good 0-0 at their place because they ended up getting promoted that season. We beat them 3-1 at Kings Meadow, and all was looking good. But that 3-1 was the last time we beat them, and that was 12 games ago. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because everyone looks at Shrewsbury at home, and you think, well, we're doing it today. We're looking at it. We're going, that's a winnable game. You've got to beat these sorts of teams if you want to stay up. But I remember some real dour experiences. I think we had one where did Marcus Force put us 1-0 up against them, and then they came back to win 3-1. We had one where James Hansen scored, and they came back to win 2-1. We had an awful game. I think it was first home game of the season a few years ago. They came to our place and beat us 1-0, and we just didn't turn up that day. It was a really neat performance. So, is it hard when you're playing a team that you're expected to beat? They're going to come here. They make life difficult for us. They're not going to give us much. They don't concede many goals at all. They've got one of the best defensive records in the division, to be honest with you. Does the weight of expectation on us to go and win the game, does that make it more difficult for us?
I think it does, personally. I think, us being the home team today, it's for us to, come out the blocks and attack Shrewsbury. And, I think with the big teams in our league, you've reeled a lot of them off there, Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich were previous Premier League teams, Sunderland and so on and so forth. So you do look at Shrewsbury like a team where you can pick up, they're not one of the big names in our league, and where you can pick up, potentially 3 points. But talking of dire performances, I was probably about 3 seasons ago, I went down and watched a 0-0 with Piggott and Falevi up top. I mean, it was a good point because that was the season we had the great escape, but it was a real dire performance. I don't think there was any shots throughout the 90 minutes, so I'm hoping for a bit of a better game here back at Plough Lane today. But yeah, I think the emphasis is for us to go out and take the game to Shrewsbury, and they could potentially play on the counter-attack. They've got a good record here, good record of clean sheets and not conceding many goals, so I don't think it's as easy as many people predict, like you said, but it's still a game which today I am looking at like we need to go for the win and pick up 3 points, because it's 8 games now without a win, even though we've had some good draws amongst that and some good performances. At the end of the day, it's points on the board which count.
That 0-0 draw you referenced, I remember at New Meadow, was it's about March time, wasn't it? And
that was it.
Really coming into the final stage of the season now, and that's where I remember thinking after that game that was it, done, because if we can't go to Shrewsbury and even have a shot, because we didn't, we were really going to struggle. And obviously then we went on this great run after that. Is that sort of evidence that we tend to judge or get carried away a little bit too early? We've spoken just now about us being like 1 point above the relegation zone, but it's January. Things can turn around just like that. So is there a tendency we can read too much into things like this?
Yes, and you don't really want to. You just want to try and, I suppose, for the players and for the team, you want them to just concentrate on the game. Their defensive record is great. Our record against them isn't good. We're going to have to break them down. We're going to have to do all of those things that we normally do well. We're going to have to chase. We're going to have to hunt in packs. We're going to have to do everything, do all the hard graft, and then hopefully we get the opportunities to score some goals. But it's there for us to do. Our record against them isn't great. Our record against other people isn't great, but records are there to be broken. I just think we've got to keep that mindset of improving and just improve the overall performance, and it will come.
Shrewsbury, 0.5 points per game away from home. Not great record for them. Allied to our poor record, no wins in 7 in the league, no wins 12 against them. It's 2 teams as well. Shrewsbury haven't scored in their last 3 either. 2 teams that are looking to put runs to an end almost.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the away game at Shrewsbury earlier this year was an awful game between 2 sides who were low on confidence, and that showed through. Shrewsbury that day, even though they got the result against us, showed they were nothing special, and I think that's something that we can look to capitalise on today. But also, like I said it on the show ahead of Tuesday's game, we're in the position now where last season, going into that Accrington away game, where it was coming, something was coming, we all knew it was coming, we were just waiting for it to click. It feels like that now. It feels like one of these games in the next 2, next 3, next 4 games, we're going to go out and beat someone badly, and then that's going to kickstart a run. And today might be that day.
We're going to beat somebody by a big scoreline.
Yeah.
Not like badly, isn't it? Like we're just going to fluke it with an awful performance.
Oh no, win someone big scoreline.
Right, yeah.
I'll take one of them being off, Luke Brown's backside.
Nick,
but
wouldn't you enjoy it if we beat someone badly, WWF and all that,
I enjoy watching some WWE with people being beaten up quite badly. From
the
time to
fact that
time.
you called it WWF there, boys, he kind of gave you
Shows
up a
your
bit
age.
there.
It's been a while.
Does
It's
show
been a
your
while.
age. We're just looking at some of the previous results we've had with Shrewsbury down the years. The last home game last season, we lost to a 90th minute goal, again behind closed doors. So I've forgotten about that one earlier. But then, as George mentioned, their game earlier in the season, they beat us 2-1. We actually took the lead. Dapo Mabude gave us the lead in the first half. Good goal as well. Good finish. I'm not sure he's scored since then, but he is on the bench today. And I think there was a bit of a lull with Dapo earlier in the season, but actually since he came in and he's played a couple of times over the last couple of games, I think he's done a job. I think his effort and his work rate has been there. I think with his pace there's always a threat, especially if he's on the bench today. I wouldn't say no to him coming on late and perhaps being able to make something happen.
No, you know what, I think I prefer Dapo coming off the bench, with a tire in defence. We saw it against Bolton in the opening game of the season here at Plough Lane when he came off the bench, attacking that fullback, and it was, we looked at a really promising player. I brought an Arsenal friend to that game, and he said it was like a Thierry Henry kind of cut in and finish for that. I don't know if it was quite that good, but yeah, obviously after that, I had quite high hopes for him. It hasn't quite really worked out for him, but I think also we just need that bit of luck sometimes in front of goal. Once you get a goal, all of a sudden things all of a sudden change. You get a bit of confidence, and then they start flowing and coming. So I do feel like like I said, it's not a lack of effort or anything like that on Dapo's part, and I'm looking forward to hopefully if he comes off the bench, seeing what he can do today.
Obviously, it's Sam and Radoni are starting today. How have you viewed their forms today? I thought Jack Radoni is showing real quality at the moment. It's not clearly, obviously, with the run we're on, it's not being translated into goal assists at the moment. But I think when he gets on the ball, his technique is outstanding. Yeah. His awareness of what's around him is outstanding. I think this is a real talent. I think if we can't keep him, I think we've got to be looking for a fee far higher than what we got for Ollie Palmer.
Far higher. Yeah, he is a real talent. Asal is as well. In Asal's defence, I wish there was a referee that could actually handle him. The situations that he gets in, he's jostled and pushed off the ball and fouled so many times, and he never gets anything. And you can see sometimes he shows his frustration, and I'm completely with him on that. I'd get even more frustrated. But Radoni is always a consistent threat. He's good in the air as well. He's great on the floor. He's just got a little trick about him. Chislet in there with them is quite nice because the three of them will, I think, interchange. You may find one pop up on one side and then they'll switch over one through the middle as well, and then they'll also interchange with Macca behind them. So there's a real great interchange. But I think depending on how we start the game, the first half goes, I think the finishers today could be key.
Substitutes,
finishers, whatever we're calling them today.
Whatever you want to call them. We're not here to judge. Ladies, oh my word, that's me talking. That's me addressing my classes at school every day. That's what I've done there. I'm very sorry, viewers. That's me forgetting where I am. We have a team sheet, amazing. Because I was just about to ask George about referees, but I thought maybe actually best not, because we know what you're like sort of about referees. Because I was looking at the Shrewsbury lineup, and we're looking there at the potential threats on that they have. We highlighted one particular player for them as we flick through our slides to find him. Ryan Bowman. 9 goals already this season, just 1 assist, mind, but he, is it fair? Journeyman sounds so hard for a player. It's actually, he's a quality player, and he's clearly scoring goals. Points per minute, I think that is there. So actually, when he plays, he makes a huge difference to them. They'd be 5th, based on his appearances and goals ratio. 28 games so far this season, and big still big goal scorer. And we've mentioned there again, big lad up front. Is that something? Sorry, we will get onto the trophy team, but we're just seeing there, 6'2". Rob, is that something we are going to miss today up top?
Yeah, my first thought when you brought up that Ryan Bowman slide, 6'2", 9 goals in 28 starts, is he for sale?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't leave this afternoon. We'll just sort of keep him dragging off the coach.
Yeah, obviously it's obviously a department we're lacking in up front with that bit of experience, and we've obviously lost our target man. Transfer window's still open, so it'll be interesting to see if we can bring somebody in before the close of the window. But I do think it is something lacking. You can't quite, having that experience up front is why most teams in this division paid a big money for a striker, and also why Wrexham also wanted an Ollie Palmer, for example. So he's obviously going to be their danger man today. But I've seen Will and Ben Hennigan handle many opposition strikers this season. I do feel confident that hopefully they can keep him quiet. A few weeks ago with Morecambe, I was worried by Cole Stockton, and he didn't really do too much in the 90 minutes here, so I'm hoping for the same today.
What are we thinking in formation terms, George? Daniel Ado, Josh Feller, these are players you particularly in attacking positions. Are we looking at they going two up top, perhaps to matches up?
Yeah, you'd expect so, because they do have a history of doing this and trying to go man for man and basically trying to bully teams. That's what they did in the away game there. And with Bowman, you'd feel they would be trying that, especially against Nightingale, coming back from injury. Or coming back from arrest, I should say. So I do think they are probably going to go man for man and try and bully us into a situation where we're going to have to try and show our physical side of the game. And that's something I think we're more than capable of doing today.
Matt, who stands out to you on their opposition? So Ethan Ebanks-Landell, very experienced, come up against him a few times.
They've got some real experience. Other than Bowman, I think David Davis and Elliot Bennett. I think they Bennett definitely always a threat. But it depends. Again, what you're talking about lineups, it depends, I suppose, how they set up, and if they do go with the two up top, it's going to be a busy day for the man that's on his debut, because they are, as George says, they do like to sort of get in your face, and they will try and shut the game down, which is why, and they've been successful at doing it. It's just how we can counteract that. So they are a threat, and they do pose a huge threat. Corners, set pieces, everything. So it's going to be an interesting one.
I would say, just building on that at the away game they did that, and it was quite a slow performance from us. But a couple of times when we did get creative, that's when we had success. So if we see high energy, lots of creativity today, we will be successful. Yeah. It's just about bringing that energy and performance levels in.
David Davis, wasn't he Brexit MP? Is he not? I mean, he's getting on a bit. I think we should really be looking to target him. Getting around him, he's not going to last like 10 minutes. That's ridiculous, but oh well, fair enough. I also note, Rob, Shrewsbury Town in their change colour today, which is fair enough because they play in blue and yellow, so they have to change. Pink and black, a bit of the Bret Hart. I might actually be a Shrewsbury fan for today if they're going to be pink and black. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Hopefully not today. Have we got Stu out and about? Is Stu gone out and about into the crowd? Are we trying to link up with him?
I think he's just doing some
behind
the goal action.
Oh, I see. So we're not going to go live to him. We might get something back from him later. Okay. So Stu's gone off to try and speak to some of the fans in the stadium, and we're going to keep previewing our game with Shrewsbury today. So for those of you who just joined us, just remind you, I'm Nick Draper. George Jones is to my left, Matt Harwood and Rob Boyce to my right. And it's away from the on-the-pitch matters for the moment. An important anniversary is coming up very soon. So it was on the 10th of February 2002 that the Dons Trust had its official launch, which was a huge event at the Wimbledon Theatre. I was there. George, you wouldn't have been there, surely?
No.
Got either of you put down to that one? Do you remember? No, do you remember the time? Really good event. We had Terry Eames was down there, Carl Lieberman was down there, some very famous faces getting us all launched. And clearly we're coming up for the 20-year anniversary. So, George, have I got this correct? That we're looking to have marked that moment this afternoon?
Yeah, there's some stuff going on today, and also on the actual day itself, which is on the Thursday in a couple of weeks' time, where there's going to be the Phoenix will be open in the evening. There'll be a lot of famous faces down there. It's really about celebrating everything this club has achieved, ever since we started, especially the Dons Trust. our story, what we've been through together as a fan base. So I think there's a lot going to happen over the next couple of days, especially during the game around the 20-minute mark.
Yes, so it says, and we might have this on the screen, I'm not sure if we've got this one, but in sort of conjunction with everything that the club's done over the past 20 years, including obviously setting up a Don's Trust when we were still playing at Selhurst Park, as Wimbledon FC, to all the other different things, academy that we've set up, AFC Wimbledon Foundation, Don's Local Action Group and everything like that. To mark that moment, fans have been asked to stand up this afternoon at 20 minutes and 2 seconds into the game for a minute's applause for everything that has been created by essentially for a large part volunteers. It's all been volunteer-led. Louise Carton-Kelly was instrumental in setting us up 20 years ago and did that completely wholly voluntary. We're speaking to Louise actually on the podcast in a couple of weeks, a quick plug, 9yearspodcast.org. But so at 20, I have to get it right, it's a very difficult time to say. 20 minutes and 2 seconds into the game, as long as nothing exciting is happening on the pitch, we'll stand up and have a minute's applause.
We'll be 3-0 up by that point, so we'll all be able to do that.
George drinks. Saying that, actually, though, that's actually well done, George. Do you know what? You're quite smart sometimes, because we can go back one stat. If we go back to the head-to-head with Shrewsbury today. 3 years later, I can get onto to the right slide. They've conceded 11 first half goals away from home this season and 4 in the first 15 minutes. So we're not known for scoring in the first half of games, really. We were really struggling with that earlier in the season. But that's potentially an opportunity. If we get a fast start, if we can get that early goal, happy days.
Press early and come out the blocks as quick as possible. And if you can catch them off guard, then the chance is obviously there. It's obviously something that they would probably be working on. But I still think we have the pace, the ability, the guile to hurt anyone.
Well, we've said already that they're very physical, they're very well drilled. So the only way to break them down is get that early goal, because then that forces them to come out, forces them to break their shape a little bit, and then that's when you can go searching for more. So that first goal is absolutely vital today.
We are winless in 4 at home. We've talked about no win in 7 in total in the league, 8 in all competitions, and we had a run of 5 games. I think it actually stretched into 6 games if you include actual minutes on the pitch without scoring a goal. Well, I was trying to remember a time when we were so lacklustre in front of a goal. I can only really remember, and apologies for all the wrestling references, at the end of was it our first? It would have been our first season in League One. I think we scored in the last 6 games or something like that. We beat Milton Keynes at Kings Meadow 2-0, and I think we saw our season a little bit fizzled out after that. I don't have particular memories. I was off in Orlando watching WrestleMania, but anything else? Any other time you can remember? Such? And what is it with scoring goals? I mean, it's weird that you think runs like this. I know they say the hardest thing to do in football is to score a goal, but I mean, to be have such paucity in front of the goal seems.
I just feel like
it's behind it.
I just feel like the ball just isn't basically falling in the net. On Tuesday, how their keeper's foot or toe got to that opportunity, and I think sometimes you just need that own goal or it to come off the back of somebody or deflect, and then all of a sudden you break that duck and it's behind you and the goals start flowing. You've seen it so many occasions, in all the divisions. A team will go on a run of not being able to score. I do feel like at the moment with 8 draws we are on a bit of a blip, but I normally find at some point with them blips they do come to an end, and hopefully today is the day where we turn things around. You get an early goal, and once we get an early one, maybe 1 turns into 2 today.
You just keep doing the same things. Don't necessarily change it, because if you think about it too much, you can start snatching at things. I think Asal did it at Burton. Great chance and just skied it over the bar, because it was just an amazing chance and just snatched at it. It's just that little bit of composure, but you just keep doing the same things. We have proved we can score goals during the season, and goals from all around the pitch, not just from one main striker. So we just need to get back to that again. So just keep doing the same things you were doing, and it will come.
George, we've already talked about just quickly though. Just the last word on set pieces then, because that's obviously some way we can look to create and score goals. Will Nightingale was excellent. Where are we with our restarts coach? He's still around.
Yeah, Andy Parslow's still around, still working on things, still improving things. You know, it's no surprise that we score on most of our set piece goals when we have Will and Ben together. And let's be honest, this is the second time in 4 months that we've had that partnership.
Yeah.
So those set pieces goals will come back, and I'm fairly certain they'll come back quite soon.
I actually think the balls in the box have actually been pretty good, I must admit. I know people are saying, well, we've lost Hartigan and Hartigan's deliveries are outstanding and Luke McCormick's sort of taken over that role. But I actually think Luke's put some quality in there. I think we've been a little bit unlucky. As you say, the ball's just not falling for us. That said, there was a free kick. There was a free kick on Tuesday night, right in the same position we had against Doncaster, I don't remember, on the opening day, and he's trying to get it up and down over the wall. I just think, no, I can't. Why do players trying that? Like, you're never going to get it up and over from when you're so close in, are you? I don't recall. When it's literally sort of on the 18-yard line, it's so difficult to do.
I think there's a big ask for League One footballers to do it. You know, you see Messi do it, but
yeah, possibly Messi.
League One footballers, it's very rare that happens. But you know, I'm surprised with that free kick. Actually, they didn't have somebody laying on the floor like most teams seem to do nowadays. I did actually think Luke McCormack might go underneath the ball, like he said, similar to Doncaster in his season. Obviously, Luke is a talented boy, so. You know, I'm sure he practices free kicks and set pieces, and his deliveries have been superb since, you know, obviously with us Anthony Hartigan. But yeah, it's always a big ask when, you know, a League One footballer steps up, in my opinion, to whip that ball up and over and into the top corner. So I can't really remember, you know, apart from Doncaster, you know, many free kicks going in. Probably George Frankham was probably the last one.
I was just about to ask that. When was the last time? Because we were mentioning we went a long time without scoring direct from a free kick, and George Frankham against Southend was always the one we sort of got back to. Callum Kennedy had one that travelled in, but was from the halfway line, wasn't it?
I don't think he quite meant that one.
Not sure he meant that one. Luke McCormick against Doncaster. Have I missed any, George? I can't think.
No, I think that's it.
That's it. Wow. So that's something perhaps we can work on today, everybody. Spike, do we have any questions coming in from the viewing public, or is it going to be quiet today? Have any questions from the viewers? Nothing today. So instead, we'll turn our attention to the pitch. I don't know how much the viewers can see behind us of the pitch as the players are warming up now. Right, George, you're our pitch expert. Okay, right. What's going on right by the dugouts there?
There's nothing there. You can see. You can't possibly see any of the rugby markers.
Do you know what?
You couldn't possibly see them.
I wasn't even thinking about rugby markers. What's that brown? What's going on right there on the halfway line? Why is it so brown there?
Oh, that's on the brown section, just on the halfway line in front of the dugouts, is where we have the sun lamp. So that goes on the pitch to try and recover the killed grass. As you can see, it's already been killed, so the sunlight's trying to recover it while they do work on it, but hasn't been hugely successful. It's better than it was on Tuesday, but it's still struggling, as we can all see.
Still looks pretty good nick, though, doesn't it? The pitch as a whole. I'm just sorry if this is not great for the listeners or viewers. Sorry, as I've got my back to you, but yeah, it's looking right as the players are warming up for us. How important is a good pitch for us at the moment, Rob, with the way we try and play football?
Yeah, we obviously try to get the ball down and play it. You know, I think it's key to the way we play, especially at the moment with no target man to hit up to. We're going to have to play between the lines today. You know, obviously we've got pace in behind with a Sal, a Blade, and Rudy. So we're going. You know, predominantly our focus has to be to get the ball down and play football. And you know, with the pitch we have here at Plough Lane, you know, really have to make the most of it. We've got one of the best pitches in the league. You know, when I watched Burton, you know, the pitch compared to ours was a bit of a bog, to be honest with you, and you forget how good our pitch is, and you kind of feel like we take it for granted sometimes how good you know, our pitch is here.
Matt, as I flicking through where else we're looking. So, all that said, we weren't going to mention rugby markers actually, George, because you know we can't see them. You can't see them whatsoever. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no sight of them, no sign of them, no inkling that there are any markings from any rugby league team playing. But the rugby league starts here tomorrow, probably, doesn't it? So they're kicking off London Broncos playing Widnes, I believe, tomorrow.
Yeah, Widnes were a bigger name in rugby league. Obviously, I'd recommend everyone don't go to that. Come and watch AFC Wimbledon ladies. We're playing at Castle against Cambridge City. Have to make that plug. Apologies. For
no, that's exactly. Do you know what, George? That's exactly where I was going with that one.
Okay.
Let's quickly catch up with the ladies' team. So, sorry, remind me. So, Short and Coulston Avenue tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 p.m.
with
Cambridge City.
Nice.
Obviously, the ladies, we had a big win on Sunday against league leaders, #2-1. second time we've beaten them away from home this season already. Cambridge City, we beat them 4-1 right at the start of the season when we were struggling a bit. We hadn't quite found our form, so we're going into this one in much better shape. Hopefully we'll be able to get a much better result than the 4-1. We'll be able to get a win, big win, help our goal difference a bit and keep ourselves in that promotion mix.
How much to get in tomorrow?
£5 for adults, under 18s are free to get in tomorrow, so get yourself down to Coulston Avenue, Carshorten Athletic, and make sure, because it's going to be a great day, a great game. You know, Ashley Hinks has already passed the 20 goals for the season mark, so you know, I'm sure she'll be in, hopefully she'll be in for a couple more on Sunday.
Have you had a chance to pop down to the ladies this season?
I haven't this season. I did last season. I was planning on going down to the game here, but I didn't make it. But Colston Avenue, I mean, I'm Epsom based, so it's not a million miles, but it's still an artificial pitch.
Coulston Avenue at Carshorten is a 4G still, yeah, but it's a lovely 4G pitch.
No, it's nice.
Obviously, we can't wait to be back here. You know, we've got one more game before we're back here. We've got another game after this at Carshorten before we're back here Wednesday the 16th, half-term week, so no excuses for the kids. Against QPR, 7:45 kick-off. Tickets are on sale on the club website now, so please get your tickets. Come down and support. It's going to be a great game, top of the table clash, and it should be a lovely evening at half-term under the lights here at Plough Lane.
We have a free week, don't we? That's one
yeah.
of Tuesday night games.
Men's first team game on the Tuesday, half-term week, so there is absolutely no excuse for anyone to not be there and support our Dons on.
That's when we do all our marking, George, half-term. That's when we get all the plan. You know, it never stops. It never stops.
Teacher moaning about holiday.
Absolutely ridiculous workload. Crazy, right. But no, yes, we wish you all very well. Hannah Binningham was actually on this show on Tuesday night, so if you're watching now on YouTube, later today, maybe have a look through if you missed that, a catch-up interview with Hannah, who was excellent, really, really good. And we do wish the ladies all the best. Right. Now back today, you can start to feel the atmosphere is building behind us at Plough Lane. The atmosphere has been really, really good this season since we moved here. Hilariously, however, Matt, what does tend to happen is that I sit on the West Stand. Whereabouts are you?
I'm in the West Stand.
You're in the West Stand as well. Which towards the south, towards the home end.
Towards this, so block 103.
Okay, so I'm right by the press box, and you get this hilarious situation where the sets of fans can't hear each other. So at one point on Tuesday night, we had both Ipswich and our fans both singing "We Forgot That You Were Here" or "Shall We Sing a Song For You" at the same moment because they were so noisy behind both goals that they can't hear each other. And I've noticed that more and more in stadiums. Do you know what we need to get? We need to get some more singing down the east stand, don't we? Right by the away fans, get that Kenilworth Road banter that you get when the away fans are right by the home fans. Kenilworth Road banter. Kenilworth Road banter.
It wasn't called banter as we were walking out after beating them in our survival season, was it?
Did we beat them?
Or the last second equaliser, I should say.
Yes, we drew. We did draw. But we also had the excellent 2-1 win there, of course. In our first visit there as AFC Wimbledon when Danny Kedwell scored a goal. A fantastic goal from Danny Kedwell that was never captured on film, sadly. I know, gutted, devastated. What a day that was. Sorry, we had to get the Luton reference in there somewhere. It is the 9 years show, apparently. I don't know who came up with the name 9 years. Who was that? What were they thinking when they did that?
I know.
Didn't even make any sense. Absolute numpties. Right. Don't know what Luton are doing today, but in League One we've already spoken about. But we just got the table up, the full league table on the screen, and yes, and that's just reference the fact that we think we've got one game in hand. It's actually. Are we short a little bit? Are we not up to 26 now? Yeah, we had the 10. So this is missing our result on Tuesday night. But okay, Wigan have got 4 games, unless they played on Tuesday night. I can't remember. Did they?
I think they did, but they've still got a lot of games in hand.
Still
3 games in hand, and they've already got 54 points. Those top 4 look like they're in a bit of a 4-way tussle, but you expect Wigan, with those games in hand, knowing the quality they have, and we saw that ourselves down here earlier in the season, we think they're just going to push on now?
I can't see them not. I mean, I know Sunderland are signing some players and rumoured to be getting Defoe, but I can't see anyone but Wigan topping the table at the moment. They've just kept an unbelievable streak of form all season.
Wickham are in that mix. They've got a game today. They're 4th currently, and they are hosting the team in 5th this afternoon. So that might be an interesting occasion, but we won't mention any more than that. Rob, which team that you've seen this season has impressed you most?
I think the player who impressed me most this season was Barry Bannon for Sheffield Wednesday. He really impressed me. Yeah, and you know 100%. What? I'm surprised they're down in 9th place. I know we got a 2-2 draw that day, but I felt like for a good part of an hour while they they could have been 3 or 4 up. I'm actually surprised to see him in 9th with Darren Moore in charge. I think he's a fantastic manager. But it just goes to show how hard this tough league is, how tough this league is. You know, you look at the top 10 and you've got Portsmouth, Ipswich, Sheffield Wednesday, and you know they're going to be wanting to be in the playoffs or even in the automatic promotion spots. So I'm not sure if Wigan will pull away. I also expect Rotherham to come back into it. They're often in the top 2 as well. So it's going to be interesting who's going to end up in the playoffs and you know who's going to go up. And there's always going to be a couple of disappointing sides. You know, come the end of the season, Sunderland would have wanted to go back up by now. You know, it's probably their 5th season, I think, in League One, and you know if they don't go up this season, you know I can't imagine what their fans will be like, especially if they've just if they do manage to get Defoe over the line.
George, about you, who's most impressed you before we?
I think Wigan, I think, are the obvious answer for this, but they were just, occasionally you see it in League One where a team has clearly got no business being in League One. We had that, and I think it was Bolton at our first season in League One, one of our first home games. Bolton, and they had Jay Spearing, and it was just levels above anything else we'd seen before.
No, it's Fulham, wasn't it? Blackburn as well.
Oh, but
similar situation.
Similar situation, yeah. But it's they're very, very good teams, and I think Wigan are certainly up there. I think you've got sort of 2 mini leagues there. You've got sort of 1st to 4th, and then 5th to 10th in terms of the promotion mix. So I think it's going to be a battle between those teams, but Wigan the pick for me.
Blackburn away at Luton. Right. The last thing I want to talk about. So before we get back, fixture today, Shrewsbury Town. Just look at the league table there. As you can see, 30 goals they've conceded, and a quick scan of the table suggests that only Portsmouth and Rotherham and Wigan have a better defensive record than them. So anyone that's a betting man, I assume, is looking at today's fixture with Shrewsbury only themselves having only scored 26 goals, so fewer than a goal a game. Us with our scoring record at the moment, would bet 0-0, would they not?
Would suggest a 0-0, but I don't really want to suggest a 0-0.
You're not allowed to say it.
we're not allowed to say it apparently. So we've had our fair shares of 0-0s and draws recently. So I'd happily sneak and take a 1-0 win late on. 90th minute winner today.
And that your prediction?
A win. Not sure on the scoreline, but I think a win, and I think this place will be rocking, and I think we'll need it. But I think I'll go 2-1.
And George,
that big win's coming 3-0.
Oof. He's gone big.
Can I just say I think it was important that Shrewsbury didn't win. I think they were away to Gillingham on Tuesday night. They got 0-0, and I just think it was important that they didn't get a win and get confidence coming into today. I think if we can get a win, nick a win, like I said, a 1-0 win today, and have confidence going in Cheltenham on Tuesday night. We showed Cheltenham in the Mini FA Cup when we were 4-1 up, and then made it a bit nervous at the end of 4-3. Felt we can easily take the game to Cheltenham, and we just need that bit of confidence and a goal today.
The game is available to watch live for international viewers. So if you are abroad and you're sat watching us now, of course you can flip over to iFollow. If you go to our website afcwimbledon.co.uk, you'll be able to get your match pass if you don't already have a season ticket, which I believe you can purchase. So have a look there. George, what's the cost of that? Do you know what the cost of your head?
It varies in the territories.
So check your local listings for how much that will cost you. But yeah, 3 o'clock kickoff this afternoon. Reminder of team news. We got Rob TV earlier, and he discussed the lineup this afternoon with George. And let's remind you of that.
Yeah, that's going to be hairy. Stu, are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Recording. Yeah.
Okay. We're good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Okay. We're joined now by AFC Wimbledon's assistant head coach, Rob Tuvey. Rob, I believe you've got the team news for us.
Yeah, welcome to the game today, everyone. In goal today will be Nick Zanev. Right back will be Paul Sue. The 2 centre-halves will be Ben Hennigan and Will Nightingale. Lee Brown will come in at left back to make his debut. Luke McCormack and George Marsh will be your holding 2. Ethan Chislett will play just ahead of them. I Basal and Jack Rudoni will be out wide, and Terry Ablade will be making his first start for us this afternoon. On the bench today will be Zach Ulia, Dan Shoka, Anthony Hartigan, Shay Alexander, Thomas, Dapo Mabude and Aaron Cosgrave. That would be the starting lineup today.
Rob, obviously big game for the Dons today. Terry Ablade trusted with his first start here at Plough Lane. How much are we looking forward to seeing what he can produce after what's been some very exciting performances at the training ground?
Yeah, no, he's done really, really well. I think in the short time that he's got on the pitch so far, he's done everything that we've asked him. He's a threat in behind. You can see that he's got a great leap on him. Has got a little bit of an aerial presence as well, which will be key for us today. And he fully deserves it with the way he's been training.
And Lee Brown comes in to make his debut. What's he been like around the camp this week?
Yeah, we've only seen him for a day. Obviously, myself and Robbo met him early in the week. He's been excellent. The lads have been taken to him straight away. And in his session that he had yesterday, you can see the quality that he's got both defensively and going forward. So we think he'll be a real asset to the team today.
Rob Tuvey, thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
So, final sweep of scoreline predictions before we go off to watch the game. George?
3-0 win for the Dogs.
Rob?
I think, even though I said I'd like a late winner with a 1-0, I actually think it's going to be 2-0. I think if we can get the first, they're going to have to come out of their shell and we can nick a second.
And Matt?
I'm still going 2-1.
2-1, and I think they're the goals as well, actually, because we're both due goals, so I'm going to go for a thriller 4-3 win for Wimbledon. We will be back after the game discussing what happens. As I say, for international viewers, available on iFollow. Check updates on the Twitter as well. If you're not being able to watch, it's at AFC Wimbledon, and we will see you roughly about 10 to 5 this afternoon.